And jump right in. I'm sure we'll have a few more people jumping on as we get started. But I want to go ahead and get started because I always feel like I waste too much time in the beginning, just like jamming, and then we never have enough time to end and take our picture properly. So I want to jump right in, and like I said, I will see your pretty faces as people jump on. All right, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. So, welcome to Team Excelsior Team Call. It is the 4th of August, so the days are flying by. We are already a week into Morning Meltdown, and it is freaking amazing. How sore are you guys? Everything hurts on my body. My back, my legs, my ass, like, but I love it so far. I'm feeling so good, and I love seeing all of you guys just so hype on your stories. But, new leaderboard, so nothing on there yet, but that's okay. I did want to shout out our coach of the week, who I chose Bree this week, just because this girl has been so terrified. She's been a coach for since I don't know the exact month. I'll have to look again, but a few months now, and was so terrified to like talk on her stories since the very beginning. And this week has just like really overcome that fear and been talking every single morning and sticking to her morning routine, which I love seeing. And she calls herself out on her shit. So she literally messaged me the other day and was like, yo, I have not sent invites. Like, I need to send invites. I'm like, okay, let's do it right now. And you know, that's a really important quality as a successful coach, is checking yourself and holding yourself accountable. So I wanted to shout her out for that. And shout out to Paige for making this beautiful leaderboard. No, this is not my own creative juices. This is Paige, and it's beautiful, and I'm so grateful for her because you guys know I am not all about the whole Canva thing. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I do try and work on it, and I like to delegate that task. So thank you, Paige, for the beautiful leaderboard this month. All right, we only have a couple new announcements, and remember guys, you can check all of these out in your coach office under the breaking news, and you also get emails about them, so you should be on top of this stuff if you're checking your coach office. I did want to note just the newest ones that came up. So this month, if it is your first ever time hitting Success Club, or you hit Success Club 10, you get a Jericho bobblehead, which is just kind of fun. But the second thing I really wanted to let you guys know about is it is 10% off the 3-day refresh this month. So this is really cool if anybody wants to add it to their challenge pack, or if you guys want to get one, because I really believe that those are like so key to have in your back pocket, not only for obviously your own results and belief in our products and programs and all of that, but to really offer to your clients, because you may be talking to someone and they're like, yeah, actually I can't get started because I have a vacation in a week or something. You could still offer them this. Like, this is just like the perfect thing to get started with, like right before doing a program or ending a program. I did it right before starting Morning Meltdown, just because I had been home for like 2.5 weeks and had definitely eaten way more processed sugar than I ever do. So it really helped me just cut those cravings and really get my almost control back over food. And so that's what I love about it. And I always feel so energized by the end. So if you have not done a 3-day refresh yet, you need to do one. On the Team Elevate call last week, I think it was, he talked about, you can't sell something that you don't do yourself. And that is so key. And that is why we have to be proof of the product. It's literally one of our vital behaviors. So if you guys haven't done one yet, seriously consider it and just go buy one, because you won't regret it and you'll get killer results and you'll feel amazing. So it's only benefiting yourself. The next thing is $10 off Beachbody Recover this month, which is awesome, especially if you have not tried Recover yet, or the vegan kind. It's so good. I'm literally obsessed with it. I wish I could have it 3 times a day, but seriously, it's so good, and it's awesome for any of your clients that you're getting started to just recommend that, because we all know how freaking sore we are, and that definitely helps. I noticed a huge difference because I haven't been able to drink the Recover until they came out with the vegan kind, and there's definitely a difference in my muscle growth and my soreness levels. So make sure you are talking about these and offering them to people you're talking to. I'm not going to go over these. You guys know you have your 3 $10 off promo codes. Yes, we got new ones for this month, which is amazing. And I am about to purchase collagen. That was another thing we talked about on the Team Elevate call last month. So I'm about to get some. If you guys haven't tried it yet, I am so excited to try it. And the next things are just like super future announcements. We've talked about them a little bit before. So if you want to know more about those, check your online office. Summit tickets are back up to $225. I tried to remind you guys as many times, and you should have gotten emails about it, but they are back up to almost full price. So if you haven't gotten one yet, seriously consider it. But if you're a brand new coach, hit Success Starter, hit Success Club your first 3 months as a coach, so you get that shit for free and don't have to pay for it. And if you have been in this longer, girl, make it your goal to sell some challenge packs and change some lives and pay for that ticket, because you have to be there. It's just a non-negotiable. I'm going to scroll down. So our topic today, let me go ahead and check the chat real quick, make sure. All right, if there is any like thing in the chat, just like unmute yourself if there's anything you guys need for me to like ask questions or whatever. But I'm gonna jump right in. So the topic of our call tonight is working through the hard, aka life. And I chose this topic because I've seen a lot of pain and a lot of like struggle this past week, and I'm experiencing that as well, and just going through this little season. And I really wanted to talk about it because I feel like this is something that obviously every single person goes through, and I tend to notice when like 1 or 2 people go through it, it's more so we don't recognize that like 5 people on our team are going through something. And another thing is, we're all going through something. We're all dealing with something, whether it's little, whether it's big, like we're all being challenged in a different way in whatever season we're in our life. And so I really wanted to come up with some tips and just ways to really work through that season of your life, whatever is hard for you right now, how to show up for yourself and for your business. Because I know Katie and I talked about this a little bit on our one-on-one call, and she just asked, like, how do you show up when like you don't feel like it, when you're not feeling like that fire, and when you're not really like feeling like your ultimate highest self? Like, how do you show up? And my first tip for her, I might be jumping ahead of myself, but my first tip for her was to like take a deep breath and recognize that whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're struggling with, or whatever your problem in life is somebody would probably pray for your circumstances. And I say that in a way that there's a lot of struggle out in the world, and whatever you're going through, there's no comparison between struggles, but you have to remember how amazing your life is and all the things that you have to be grateful for. So that was my first thing that I mentioned to her, and I might be jumping ahead, but let me go ahead and go to the next slide. So my first biggest tip is remembering that you are a human being. So I know this is like our coaching call, this is our business call, but I really want you guys to walk away from this call. My goal of this call is for you to walk away and feel like you have like little tools in your toolkit, in your tool belt, whatever you want to call it, in your back pocket, in your purse, like whatever. You have these tools to like pull out when you're feeling this way, when you're like, oh, this is the shit that Mad was talking about on the call. This is like the tough stuff. So the first tip that I have for you guys is remembering that you're a human being. Like, I know that sounds so simple, but it's so true. And this quote, I heard it on a podcast that I was listening to today. I posted it in the team page, but it said, the presence of anxiety is unavoidable, but the prison of anxiety is optional. And that like totally hit home, because I know so many of us struggle with, anxiety, depression, all of that. And a lot of people do. Like, it's very, very common in today's society. And I just thought that this quote like hit the nail on the head. Anxiety is unavoidable. So like, we're going to go through it. We're going to face this obstacle, but keeping yourself, literally putting yourself in a prison cell of anxiety, that's your choice. So it is your choice whether you stay there or whether you do all the things that you can to work through that. So I did just want to say, and I know I wrote a post about this too a few days ago, is feeling whatever you need to feel and then moving through it. So today, for example, I literally went out on the couch and I said to Jordy, I need to cry for 5 minutes and then I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to do my Triller and I'm going to get ready for my team call. And I feel like that is so important to remember, is whatever you're feeling, if you don't feel it, it's going to end up bottled up and turning into something so much bigger. So you need to give yourself permission to feel whatever emotion you need to feel and not judge it, because the most harmful thing we can do is to judge ourselves for whatever we're feeling. Your feelings are always valid, and you have to remember that. So feel whatever you need to feel. If you need to set a timer, if you need to just go in the shower and do whatever you need to do, cry, scream, whatever you got to do. And we also have to remember that think about a little kid. Think about 3-year-olds that throw freaking temper tantrums and scream and just cry so hard. And then after they do that, they're like 3 minutes later, they're like a new person. And we have to remember, as adults, they do that for a reason, to release whatever they're feeling and then move through it. So that was another part of that. And just being gentle with yourself. Guys, we're not here to be perfect. I'm not here to be perfect. I don't expect you guys to show up perfectly every single day. Be gentle with yourself, and just understand that every single person that you're talking to, your social media, every single person is a human being, and we're not meant to be perfect. So just give yourself a little bit of grace. And I know that so many of us struggle with that because we are very much perfectionists and want to be on top of the world all the time. But just give yourself a little bit of grace. The last thing on here is, understand that staying stuck is the worst thing you can do. And that's how you stay in that prison, is putting your head in the sand and just avoiding doing anything and just staying in that struggle. Don't stay in the struggle. Feel it and then move. Feel it and then take action. So that is my first tip, is remembering that you're a human being, and just all of these little things that go along with that. The next thing I came up with is creating consistency. And I feel like this goes hand in hand with our journey right now, especially with Morning Meltdown. And I feel like it's so perfect. And that's exactly why this program was created, because it's all about creating that consistency through all of the ups and downs of life. I remember on the infomercial for Morning Meltdown, Jericho talks about, some of the struggles that the people in the crew had dealt with. Some people had amazing things happen during that 100 days. Other people had, terrible things, hard things, life happen. And no matter what, they showed up, because this was the one thing that was consistent. And so I really want you guys to take a little bit of time and pick 3 things. 3 things that you want to, no matter what, show up to this week. So every single day, what are those 3 things going to be? Because another part of life is, like I was just saying, being really, really hard on ourselves for all of the things that we didn't get done, and not giving ourselves any credit for the things that we did. And if you don't do that, if you don't celebrate the little stuff, then you're not going to keep up with it, and you're just going to be focused so heavily on all of the negative and all the bad. So I want you guys to pick 3 things and post them in the chat, because I do want to read through them. 3 things that no matter what, you are making this commitment to yourself to show up to. So for me, the vitals, these are just 3 examples, and they kind of all go hand in hand. So it's kind of almost like my morning routine includes all of those things, or my vitals includes all of those things. So whatever those 3 things, it doesn't have to be these were just random examples that I threw out there. But one for me this week that I'm picking is gratitude. I used to have it was called the 5-minute journal, and it was the best thing ever. It was a little quote, and then you write what you're grateful for. Maybe after this call, I'm just going to go buy it, because I ran out of room. I went through it for a year, and I just need a new one. But guys, gratitude is so freaking key. I cannot stress that enough, how important it is every single morning to express your gratitude, because it instantly flips that switch in your brain to focus on the good, to focus on how that you woke up this morning, that you have your health. And those are little things that so many people pray for. So really focusing on that gratitude, that's going to be my biggest one this week. And I challenge you guys to do it with me. So in your morning meltdown book, your 100-day book, how about every morning we post a picture of that, like in our team page? I'll post mine and you guys can post yours, and we'll just like stay on each other for that, hold each other accountable, because that's what we're here for. So I want to read a couple of yours. But the last thing I wanted to say about this is yes, writing down your non-negotiables. So these are pretty much your non-negotiables. No matter what, you are going to get these 3 things done, and maybe they have to be in the morning so that you get them done. And knowing that consistency, guys, builds that confidence. So if you're struggling, if you don't feel confident in anything in your life, it's probably because you just haven't stayed consistent with it long enough. We know that's why we're so confident in, our journeys, is because we've created this consistency with our workouts and with our nutrition, and now we have more confidence in those areas. So, okay. Can't say enough about the Start Today Journal by Rachel Hollis. Yeah, I've actually been looking at that. I watched her IGTV on it. Morning routine, fun time with my boyfriend, an hour of reading. I love that. Workouts, journaling, personal development. Journaling, yes. I have been journaling every single day, and guys, it makes such a difference. Such a difference. And to just get your thoughts out there and then be able to refocus. Morning routine, evening bike rides. I need a bike. Self-affirmations, yes. Maggie, would you mind posting yours in the team page later after the call, maybe? Katie said, workout shake, PD podcast, and show up and follow up. Hail to the you. Morning gratitude, nightly walk with my hubs. Morning routine, giving myself grace in every situation, showing love. I love all of those. Thank you guys for sharing. But yeah, I really want us to check back in with these things next week. So I want you guys to say these 3 things. I want you to write, if you have your agenda like me, write those 3 things, put a little checkbox next to them, and check that shit off every single day this week. And let's create hella confidence. So next thing is leaning into the things that fuel you. So what is something, this might sound like a silly question, but what's something that really enhances your happiness? For me, it's dancing in my kitchen. Using Triller, that is my favorite part of the whole entire day. And I know that when we're feeling the hard things in life, we're going through whatever we're going through, it's almost like we tend to move away from the things that enhance our happiness. And I say enhance our happiness because I truly believe, and this is something that I've really been trying to learn a lot about, is that happiness is internal. And it's something that if you're sitting alone in a room, are you happy? And so I say enhance your happiness because I don't think that your happiness should necessarily come from outside sources, but we know that our relationships with people enhance our happiness. We know that sunshine enhances our happiness. So what are those things that really make you happy? And go freaking do that. Make those priorities in your day. For me, it's literally spending time outside, going for a walk outside, being in the sunshine, spending time at the pool. I have a pool here, and I love sitting by the pool, and so many times I make excuses for it, but that I don't go, and I should go because it enhances my happiness. So then maybe that'll be one of mine this week. Your puppy, uninterrupted time with your baby. So yeah, those are things that's so awesome. So maybe even writing in your agenda, hey, this is my block time to do this thing that makes me happy. I love that. And how can you make something more fun? So for me, with anything having to do with work, our job is pretty fun. We get to go out and talk to people every day. We get to meet new people. But sometimes, when you're going through the day-to-day, you almost look at it as repetitive and, oh, I don't know if I want to show up. How can you make it fun? For me, that means blasting music. That means dancing around and sending messages. How can you make whatever dull activity you have to do, like laundry or dishes or whatever, how can you make it more fun? As adults, we forget to have fun, and that's why people are unhappy, but fun makes everything better. So that's one of my tips. And the next thing I wanted to say is if you're feeling alone, know that you are not. You're not. If any other person in the freaking world has gone through what you're going through, I'm sure they probably have. You're not alone. And that's literally the reason why Team Excelsior exists, because I didn't want any other person to ever feel alone in that struggle, in the hard places, in the great times of life that we get to celebrate together. You're never freaking alone, and that's why we have each other. That's why we're called a team. And the last thing I have on here is who in your life will be real with you. So sometimes getting a different perspective and just getting, like talking to a friend that you really trust, like can kind of bring you, like snap you out, like, oh yeah, I do have so much to be grateful for. This really isn't that big of a deal. Or like, what can I focus on to like improve this situation? So who in your life will be really real with you and give you that grace, but also hold you accountable to your own shit. So that's a really good friend. The friends that hold you accountable, give you grace, but also hold you accountable to what you say you wanted to do. Those are the friends you want in your life. And I know that that's why our team are all such good friends. So lean into the things that fuel you guys. And might be different for every single person on here. The next thing is having faith. And I love, if you guys haven't watched Alyssa's video that she did in the team page, I actually posted it as an announcement because it's that freaking good, especially if you're a new coach or if you're a coach that's been in this for a few months or a year, whatever, go watch it. Literally, her fire is amazing. But I asked her a question while she was on there about like her faith and how that helps her. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight, because without faith, guys, without understanding that this is just a little bump, like without understanding that there's a light and being the light, life is really hard if you don't have that faith. So you may not be able to understand the reason for whatever you're going through right now, but I can promise you that there's a purpose for it. And you may never truly understand it, but you bet your darndest that whatever you believe in, there is a greater purpose for whatever you're going through. So I know this is something that Katie and I talked about, but she asked me, how do you show up when you don't feel like it and when you're going through those tough times? Guys, chances are if you're going through it, somebody else is too. And taking people through that with you, you just never know who needs to hear it. You never know who else in the world feels alone. You never know who needs you to be that light. So when you're going through this time of struggle, like, what do you need to hear? Ask yourself, like, what kind of value can I bring to somebody else who's going through the same struggle as me? That's what I try and think about. So if I'm struggling with anxiety, if I'm struggling with stuff at home, if I'm struggling with somebody I love, like going through something, how can you take that struggle and provide value to someone? So a lot of times for me, that means going and looking up a podcast. That means going and looking up affirmations or looking up a quote or reading something in the Bible that like really helps me, and then providing value on that and talking about it, because somebody out there needs you guys. Somebody out there needs you to show up through your struggle so they know that they're not alone and they too will get through it. Provide that hope, provide that faith for somebody else, because the more you instill it in other people, the more you instill it in yourself. The more you preach it, the more you practice it. So I really hope that you take this seriously. We always say, be a light. But what does that mean? This is what I believe it means, is showing up, being that positive outlook, even when you're going through the stuff, especially when you're going through the stuff. Because you know how many times, guys, I've been in this business a long ass time. Like, there has been so many times in my business when I didn't show up, and share the struggle because I was too scared. And you know what that did? That hurt not only me, but it hurt the people who watched me, because after I went through it and I maybe opened up a little bit more about what had been going on, they were like, oh my gosh, Matt, I wish you would have showed that because I was going through the same thing. Open up, guys. Vulnerability is what brings amazing relationships and what makes us freaking successful in this world. So just know that somebody else out there needs you to be that faith and be that light for them. The next thing that I wanted to share, and this is something that I got from that podcast today, and you can absolutely substitute whatever word works for you. Whatever higher power, whatever universe, but like this acronym just, okay. Paige, are you on here right now? Can you take over for a minute? Okay. I'll be right back, guys.
Hey guys. So speaking of going through the stuff, obviously there's stuff going on with Maddie, but calm. So yeah, what's funny about the team, can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. What's funny about the team call topic today is that if you don't know Sam, she's on our team. She's visiting Virginia Beach, and me and her met up for lunch today, and this is the exact topic we were talking about at lunch today, which is really weird, is how like showing up even when you're going through some rough stuff. And so I'm just gonna read what she has on here because I'm familiar with it. Okay, so obviously it's an acronym. So C is celebrate God's goodness. So whether you believe in God or not, or if you believe in just the universe, if you're more of a spiritual person, substitute the word for whatever it is that you may believe in, but celebrate God's goodness. So y'all, I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and there's so much good. And even with all the shit that's been going on, like in the news and everything, there's still so much good out there. Ask God for help. Y'all, sometimes asking for help is like the hardest thing you can possibly do, and it's so humbling sometimes because we feel as if sometimes when we ask for help that we're failures, and we're not. Sometimes the strongest people ask, like even the strongest people have to ask for help. So, and the number one person you can go to is your higher power, because usually, like, that's if you have nobody, you have them. L, leave your concerns with him. Leave it all. We in the Christian faith, we say leave it all at the cross. Take all that baggage off and just lay it all out and leave it there. Leave all your concerns with him. And then M, meditate on the good things. So I've never practiced like meditation, but like think of all the good stuff, not the negative stuff. Hi, Maddie. So all the good things. When you tell yourself positive thoughts, you're a more positive person, and positive things will happen. I don't know if you heard anything that I said, Maddie.
I walked outside for a minute. Thank you guys for being patient with me. It was just a call I had to answer. So yes, I'm sure Paige nailed this, but I just felt like this acronym really helped me today and really just like kind of hit home. And it's an easy one to remember when you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling a little like all over the place or anxious or anything. Just remembering calm, to celebrate, ask, and leave and meditate. So I really hope that helped in some way, no matter what you believe in. I feel like that can help. So thank you, Paige. I think this is the last one. All right. You cannot control your circumstances. And I know we hear this so freaking often, but guys, you just can't. Life happens. The only thing you can control is you. And like I said in the beginning, you're going to experience anxiety. You're going to experience those tough times, but you keeping yourself in that place is what you can control. You is what you control. Your mind is what you can control. Your actions are what you can control. So my theme, I don't know if you guys saw I think I talked about it on my stories a few days ago and wrote a post about it too, is just taking action over anxiety. Because so many times we get stuck in this anxious place, and it's because, like I said, we're staying stuck. We're staying in that place. We're keeping ourselves in that prison instead of taking any action, literally doing anything that could move us through that process. So one of the biggest things is staying present. staying right here where you're at right now and focusing on what you can do right now to move yourself through that. And understanding, guys, that this business and so many things that go on in our life is the solution and not the problem. So I hear so often that people, put this business, they say, I'm just taking a break from this business right now. I'm just, like I don't have time to work my business. I'm struggling with this or this or this. Guys, this business makes you show up for yourself. This business makes you show up to a team that cares about you. This business makes you show up and serve other people, and when you serve other people, you feel better about yourself. This business is the answer, it's the solution, it's not the problem. If you're struggling with money, show up to your business. If you're struggling with anxiety, show up and work out. Show up and read your personal development. Show up and ask the team for some prayers or for some help or just to do things together. This business, 9 times out of the 10 is like always, it's always the solution, guys. I think I have one more thing on here. Okay, so yeah, one question you can ask yourself is, what do you have to look forward to? Like, if right now is like really shitty, like, what do you have to look forward to? And I wanted to ask you guys some ideas for our diamond retreat. I know we've been talking about this, and it's something I really, really want to, we're going to do. I'm not going to say I really want to. We're going to do it. I'm potentially, so the team Elevate, there's a superstar push that I'm going, a Rise event in South Carolina that's in October, I believe, or November, one of the two. So I was thinking of doing it in either September or October, because you guys know after watching our elite call that we have to start our elite ranking, which means we have to be a 5-star team by the beginning, no later than the beginning of November. So I want to do a diamond retreat before that to really help you guys push, because I know so many of you have told me, I really love the trips. Like, trips really motivate me, and being together motivates me. And so I really wanted to come up with maybe some ideas. I want to hear from you guys. I know that we're kind of all spread around the country, and just maybe some different, whether September or October works better. I know September is coming real fast because it's already August, so it'd probably be October. But just like, if you guys have any ideas, I'm thinking probably East Coast, because that's where the majority of our people are at. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear ideas. And also, if you didn't check out the elite tracker thing that I made, make sure you do. I spent a lot of time on it, and I was pretty proud of them. And I want you guys to print them out and use them, because when you have something looking at you in the face, something real to put your name on and check off when you're making progress, we're going to be checking in with that every Thursday, because that's when official updates in the coach office and stuff happen. So we're going to be checking in with that. But I really hope that those help you and make you recognize that every single one of you plays a part in the team, in the team's goals. So this week, I want you to write down one thing. So I know we talked about 3 things that you wanted to consistently stay with this week, but what's one thing that you want to be able to reflect on this on the next team call? So next Sunday, you want to say, yeah, I freaking rocked that shit. I showed up every single day to that. What's one thing? For me, that's my gratitude. That's my thing. Melissa said, let's go, I'll drive. Hell yeah. Road trip. Invites. Yes. Yes. Invites. Guys, this is something I want us to implement so hard, is when we're freaking working, when we're getting our shit done, post that shit in the team page. Let's celebrate. Let's motivate each other. Let's push each other. So if I see that Paige sent 50 invites, you bet your ass that I am sending 50 invites, or maybe 51. Because I love that. I love pushing each other and challenging each other and getting each other to that next freaking level, because that is what a team is about. Invites and follow-ups. So guys, lean into each other. This is what we're talking about. Let's freaking do it. If you're working, post a link to get on Zoom. Like I said, let's make things more fun. Fun, fun, fun. Fun is where the magic happens. And the last thing I have on here, I know I have one more slide. I'm not going to go through it all, but I want you guys to actually go listen to this podcast. It's Jay Shetty. You guys know I listen to him every single morning, but he's really, really amazing. And this was just one that I listened to today. It was 7 things to boost our mental health, and it was like actually 7 things to boost our mental health on the weekends. So I figured I would share these. First one is removing perfectionism. We kind of already hit on some of these. Like I said, keep moving forward, noticing the good things you're doing and giving yourself credit, doing a single task, one at a freaking time. That'll bring you peace, relationships in your life, focusing on the good ones and really pouring yourself into the ones that you can be your true self around and that also hold you accountable, and knowing what helps you relax for real, like what actually helps you relax. So for me, that's Epsom salt baths, and I like hardly ever make them a priority, and I need to. Maybe I'll do it tonight. Time to unwind and understanding that learning and enlightenment is different than entertainment. So a lot of times if we're looking to entertainment, so let's say a show on Netflix or something, we tend to try to escape our realities instead of elevating ourselves and working through that tough stuff. And then exercising, we're already really good at that. And volunteering, I thought this was a really interesting one because like I said earlier, helping others literally improves our well-being, and it gives us endorphins. So those are some tips for you guys. I really hope that this was helpful in some way. I want to see all of you guys thriving, and I know that everybody goes through some tough times, but this is why we have each other, and I really want us to lean on each other this week and crush it because time freaking flies faster than we can even imagine. So let's take a picture real quick. Smile, let me see your faces. Cute. All right, I love you guys so much. Let's go into this week stronger than ever and come out on the other side so proud of ourselves, okay? All right, love you guys. Bye.